A little bit wide through the chicane in towards Tabac. But it's been a clean lap so far, Ben, from the Williams man.
Pretty clean, definitely. It looks like you have a good flow on the track so far, at least. Oh, as he hits.
Yeah, hits the barrier. Commentator's curse right at the end of the lap.
But let's see what he can.
Yeah, towards the line. It won't necessarily affect that bad. And he crosses the line to set a 1 minute 11.4 for the first lap time of the session so far. There's Vaporshea on the medium tyres. It's quite brave, isn't it, to go for mediums at Monaco?
Definitely brave. But he goes quick as TDB.
Yeah, TDB 1 minute 10.5. Fashion 111.3. Here comes Shea second. Splits the two Renaults 111.2. So the top two drivers on the medium compound of. Interestingly, here's Vapor Nuth in towards Raskas, the world champion, who, again, like Cobalt, really, who impressed us this season. Knut has struggled a little bit to find his. He goes P1, 1 minute 10.0 just to shut me up. And provisional pole for the Ferrari driver. And if he is to get the championship run going, bearing in mind, Ben, that he's missed a couple of rounds of racing in the early doors of the championship, he's really needs to get a strong result here, and that lap there could just be the way towards doing that. 0.3 quicker on mediums as well.
Yeah, the medium runners look solid so far. They've all of them have done pretty good laps, and as we can see, like the top 5, they're all 3 in the top 5 so far.
Yeah, Knut 29 points off the lead of the championship. There's 34 points covering the top 5 after the first 5 races. And in 5th place is JT, who is just making his way out of the pits now. And Ben, we were again just talking about him off air as well, about how impressive he is pace-wise. He's on this races. He got a victory on his season debut and a 2nd place last time out in China, so not bad going.
He's definitely driving very well. I have driven with him before in other leagues, and I must say he's pretty quick compared to me.
TDB, Buttons back, I should say. I don't know where I got TDB from. Buttons back goes P9, 1 minute 11.6 for the Mercedes driver. Another one who has just had absolutely no luck this season. Buttons back with 4 races under his belt in season 6, 1 points finish and 3 non-finishes to start the season. That 1 points finish incidentally did come last time out in China. His first points of the season, and for somebody who was nearly part of the Constructors' Champions last season, it's been a concerning start, really, for Buttons back. Lotta Lam, P9, one of the promoted drivers into Division 1 for season 6. And just apologies to everyone on the stream. So we started the stream disconnected straight away. So I'm joined by Benjamin Eriksson this evening.
Hello.
A warm welcome to Ben, who is going to be providing us with some expert analysis for the rest of Division 2 driver and for promotion into Division 1 next season. So
yeah, hopefully
we'll be seeing you at Monaco next season. Maybe. It's very tight in Division as it is in Division 1. JT. And just about avoid any terminal damage on his Red Bull. It just goes to show, Ben, we were just marvelling over JT's talents, and he's just got that Red Bull in the barriers.
Yeah, it was definitely a big hit going into there, so he'll definitely have to come into the pits and change that front wing and go out and get him.
But there is time, of course.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of time, but I still have a thing for him. I think he's gonna go out and do a good lap still.
Here's Sam in the Alfa Romeo. 4 points finishes for him in the early go of the season. He's at the 3 times. And he's only out once out of the first 4 races that they've both finished the race together. And And it's a pattern as well last season for Bazooka Joe that he was constantly out-qualified by his Ferrari teammate Reese, but he always seemed to just put a good result out of the bag. Bazooka Joe is with us this evening, out on a lap at the moment. Here comes teammate Sam up towards the line, goes P2.
P2.
Brilliant lap from Sam there. And he's our chief steward in Division 1. No investigation needed for that one. A brilliant lap from the Alfa Romeo driver. Here comes his teammate Bazooka Joe up to the line, and it is P12 for him, 1:11.8. And that puts him 1.6 seconds behind his teammate. Of course, a reminder once again that anyone outside the top 10 gets a free choice of tyres for the Grand Prix. Everybody inside the top 10 has to start the race on the tyres they qualify on. Elian's on an outlap in the Ferrari on the soft compound of tyre. Elian, the one promoted to Division 1 this season after a victory and 3 podiums in Division 2 last season, on his way to second in the World Championship. I think you raced with him last season, Ben, didn't you?
Yeah, I did race a few races with him. And he's also a very good driver, so it's definitely deserved that he got to drive in Division 1.
Did you ever see much of him on the track, or were you always in different bits?
I actually can't remember, but I think we must have been in some battles together, because we were both in the top part of the table when we were driving against each other.
Only one of the other 2 promoted drivers joins us this evening. Desinio, unfortunately, is in the Mercedes. Back is the only driver flying the flag for Mercedes tonight, as Elliot brings his car into the Nouvelle chicane and makes his way towards Tubat. His teammate Vapor Knut still P1, the 1:10.0. So really impressive lap times coming in. The top 3 separated by as many tenths of a second. Vapor Trench, the championship leader in P3, hasn't won a race yet this season. Such has been season 6. Such has been 2020, really. Elian crosses the line, P7, 1:11.0, a second away from world champion Knut, who, if he is to retain his title... Sorry, Ben, go on.
I was just about to say that his teammate Vapor Knut just started his lap, and he didn't go perfect through the first sector, but he was still quicker than his fastest time, so he's looking pretty solid for a new fastest lap.
Yeah, Buttons back has just gone through Casino Square. We'll follow Knut. He's a little bit as he makes his way out of Portier and into the tunnel. I was going to say, if he's to mount a challenge to retain his title with that 29-point deficit. As he locks up and invalidates the lap. Sorry, Knut, I think we put him off. He needs a win here. He needs a victory at Monaco, with just, of course, 4 rounds to go after this one.
Yeah, he needs a good race to boost his confidence to get a chance to fight for the championship. But I think if he gets a good result, he'll definitely have the confidence, and he's going to believe in himself.
Yeah, and TDB in the Renault has just gone fastest. Vapor Trench has gone into regretting that invalidated lap time, because he's just been pushed out of the front row and down to 3rd place. And as we mentioned earlier, track position so important around a circuit like this. But 6.5 minutes left to go, so plenty of time for somebody to come through and steal pole position in the remainder of the session. Knut's just started another lap. He's locked up into Mirabeau, but he's kept the car pointing in the right direction. Locked up again into the Lowe's hairpin and in towards Portier, and he's backed out of the lap by the looks of it. So a couple of lockups have, I think, put pay to that lap for the current champion. Jack Prentice in the Alpha Tauri. Haven't really mentioned him so far this evening, but he's in P7, 1:11.0 on the medium compounds. Yeah, impressive from Jack. He's another one a bit like Bazooka Joe. I mentioned him last week, I think it was, or the week before that, when I was just talking about how quiet. What's happened, Ben?
AT Gelato just invalidated his lap again, went into the wall, going into the chicane.
Yeah, so JT not having a good time of it. He's broken his front wing.
So he's box again.
Won his first race of the season actually as a reserve driver in the Mercedes before making the permanent switch to Red Bull for the rest of the season. And so far here in Monaco, not having an awful lot of luck. Here comes Sam, goes P3, 1 minute 9.9. So the lap times, well, they are plummeting because Vapor Knut in all of that has just gone P1. So 1 minute 9.1 for him, 4 tenths quicker than TDB. Whilst we were busy chatting amongst ourselves, Knut was setting an absolute blinder of a lap time. Is that going to be beaten, Ben? 4 tenths ahead.
I mean, it's a really impressive time, a 109.1. But as we have already seen, the track is improving really quick, so we might actually have a few guys who will have a shot for the pole position, but he's definitely looking very good, and he has put himself in a very good position.
Oh, Bazooka Joe's just hit the wall on the inside of Casino Square, so that is his lap probably gone, I would say. Has he broken his front wing? I can't really see. But that certainly will have cost him more than a few tenths of a second, so he's backed out of his lap. Vapor Shay's retired from the session in the Racing Point, which I would imagine would be down to a crash, I would have thought, because I can't imagine he would have retired in P10.
Yeah,
normally one of the front runners.
Had some kind of accident.
So 3.5, well, just over 3.5 minutes left of the session. Carwin Robb in the Haas, who made a very impressive debut last time. Oh, as I say that, he's put the car in the wall. He's just chipped off a bit of his front wing.
Today.
Yeah, that's happened a few times now.
Yeah, it has.
But Carwin Robb raced in China, and he got himself a points finish. Was close to the podium positions for a long time in the Grand Prix before safety cars and strategy put pay to those attempts. Here's Kovac. His teammate Reese is out of the session as well. He crashed in qualifying in Japan a couple of rounds ago. And Kovac, P7, 1 minute 10.9. So almost 2 seconds away from the pace set by Knut out front, who in qualifying here is playing a little bit of a blinder so far. But it is, of course, oh, into the wall goes Kovac. And, well, that is most of his front wing gone. Still got part of it, but not enough to complete a competitive lap by any means. Kobalt's out-qualified Reese twice this season, so today will be the third time. Of that there is no question, because he set a lap and his teammate Reese will not be setting a lap. JT we're still waiting for, and Kasu in the other Red Bull is making his way into Mirabeau.
Decided to take the medium tire. Interesting.
Yeah. This late in the session, is that a wise move, would you say? Again, it's quite risky, isn't it? Because of course they're less grippy, and what you don't want here in Monaco is a deficiency of grip.
If he can get the flow of the track and get a good lap time in and qualify, I would say inside P6 or P7, he would actually look pretty good for the race.
Two times this season, Kasu's out-qualified a teammate, but that was both with Trixky, who was his teammate at the start of the season. Hasn't out-qualified JT. Of course, they've only had one race together. He's finished on the podium in Singapore, and here goes up to P6, 1 minute 10.4 on the mediums. That's impressive, but it does make you think, Ben, what could he have done on the softs?
Definitely have gone fast on the soft. If we, I can't remember how fast on the soft are, but about 7 to 8 tenths, I think.
Yeah.
And if he just improved by those 7 to 8 tenths, he would go up to P3 or maybe even P2 if he made a really good lap. But
yeah,
P6 on the mediums is definitely still impressive.
It certainly is. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, Ben, it's such a short track here that those 7 or 8 tenths make all the difference. Here comes Fashion up towards the line in the Renault, and it's P8 for him, 1 minute 10.8. His teammate TDB still up in P2. And TDB were having quite the battle in Silverstone. TDB did go on to win that race, but no thanks really to his teammate. Who was
has invalidated his final run.
Oh, so Vapor Knut, who was looking to extend that advantage out front, has put pay to his lap. Sam has just started his, and he's brushed the wall on the exit of Sandubot. Don't think that's cost him any time, because it was a very light touch with the barrier. Sam trying to qualify his teammate Bazooka Joe for the 4th time this season. And Laura Lamb has retired from the session. P13 for him, so his final run didn't work out either. Down towards the Lowe's hairpin comes Sam, rides the curve. The two right-handers of Portier. Is anybody going to be able to catch Vapor Knut? Well, Sam's first sector didn't really set well light. His middle sector will wait to see. The checkered flag falls on the session. Vapor Knut, who is out in front, set to take his first pole position of the season as Sam in towards the two swimming pool chicanes. It's a really good line through the second one. Purple middle sector as well being shown on the timing screens as Reaper Trench goes P3 in front of him. What about Sam? Round the final corner, opens up the DRS up towards the line for the Alfa Romeo. Oh, it's P3, not quite enough to get on the front row. Here comes TDB, he's invalidated his lap, he's smashed his car into the barrier. He will not be improving. He will be on the front row of the grid.
That has ruined JT's lap.
Oh, and JT, who has just had his lap ruined by the Renault of Fashion, is not going to set a lap in. Unbelievably, the driver who's been on the podium in each of the last 2 races, he won in Japan. He was tipped as a favourite here in Monaco. He'll start P5. That is a shock.
And he was on such a good lap. He just did a purple middle sector, and it was about turn, I can't remember what turn, but he was just getting out of sector 2, and the Renault was in the way because he was braking, because he saw his teammate just crash, so he has to, so he had to avoid him.
Yeah, I saw him go to the inside, and I think he was trying to let JT go. Unfortunately, JT's going to have to get in line in terms of the amount of drivers who have had their issues with Fashion in the last couple of seasons, shall we say. But it is pole position for Vapor Knut in terms of his championship campaign this season, Ben. He needed that.
Yeah, that's definitely a good start for him to this Monaco Grand Prix. And 410th, pole position by 410th, that's pretty impressive, I would say.
Impressive at a track like this. On pole position, TDB rounding out the front row. Sam P3, Trench in P4, the championship leader. Colin Robb in 5th, Buttons back 6th, Jack Prentice in 7th, Cat 9th, Cobalt rounding out the top 10 for Williams, out qualifying his teammate Reese for the 3rd time this season. They are now level, those two, on 3 apiece in terms of the qualifying battle, so it's been very tight between those two. In the
now the exciting part.
Yeah, the Grand Prix. Well, Knut starting on pole. There have been 30 wins out of the 66 Championship Grand Prix here from pole position. When I was looking at that stat, Ben, I actually thought that was quite low. 30 out of 66 at a track like Monaco. You would think it should be more, right?
Yeah, I would definitely think it should be more, because there's literally nowhere to pass on this track. You have this chicane where you can try to go for a pass, but that's still a risky move, and then you have to start finish straight if you get a good exit of the last corner. So yeah, I definitely thought that stat was going to be higher as well.
Well, Michael Schumacher in his Ferrari days in the late 90s, early 2000s won quite a few actually from 2nd place, and there have been 15 winners from 2nd here in Monaco. And 21 wins have come outside the front row. And the most famous example, do you reckon you could think of that, Ben? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I actually can't think of it right now. I remember there was a race where over half the grid crashed out. It was in the 80s, I think.
Yeah, there's something close to that. So 1996. And Olivier Panis won the Grand Prix.
Exactly, yeah. But I was thinking about that race. It was that race that I kind of described.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. I think it was 1986 actually, where there was quite a few drivers who were in the lead. And I remember Alain Prost crashed out, and on the final lap there was also a car failure as well. So it became known as the race that no one wanted to win, because everybody who was in P1 ended up either crashing or having some sort of reliability failure. I suppose that's also the reason, because this race has been going on for so long. In the early days of Formula 1, of course, reliability was not great, to say the least. Much better on these cars, of course.
God. I just took a look at the tire situation right now, and we actually have a driver starting on the hards. So that's definitely going to be interesting to follow him around and see what he can do on this track with the hard tire.
Yeah, we have got one of the hards, and it is Bazooka Joe in the Alfa Romeo. So that's a break from Buzz to have a habit of making it work in the races. He outraced his teammate Reese last season 6 times out of the 8 races that they had together, and he's outqualified Sam 3 times. Outraced Sam this season. Just before we start, he's going to win.
Oh, I was gonna think JT, but I don't think he's gonna win. So I'm gonna put my money on TDB.
TDB second place. What? Fine, shall we? Round number 6 as the championship starts to reach its climax. The Monaco Grand Prix is a very good start from Paul Knut. It's also a good start from Sam from P3. He signs TDB into turn 1, but the driver just about manages to keep his car ahead.
JT has got damage already.
And JT at the back with damage to his Red Bull. Nothing is going right for him in this race. Qualifying, couldn't set a lap, and now he's damaged his front wing. And in front of him, there's all sorts of drama happening because Zoka Joe's been dive-bombed in the Alfa Romeo. Cobalt's in there as well. Elian putting his nose in there with Bashir.
Oh, and
on the
Weber
outside
Knut goes into the wall. Weber Knut gets damage.
And damaged his front wing in the Ferrari. So a easy start all happening. The first sector here in Monaco. And Vapor Knut, as you can see, with slight damage to his front wing. How much is that going to affect him, Ben? Because this is tough.
It's going to affect him. Yeah, it's really tough to drive around this track with wing damage. So I'm actually excited to see if he's going to stay out or if he's going to go in to check that front wing. He's not. He's going to stay out, but he's definitely going to be on a lot of pressure from TDB.
He's going to lose so much time, isn't he, now, through the Renault behind him. We are under virtual safety car conditions, so that's why nobody's going for any moves at the moment. But as soon as we go green, I'm struggling. He's not going to go and take P1 because it's almost like a Daniel 2018. It's the steer on the Ferrari.
Yeah, it definitely is. JT goes into the pits to change his front wing, and he has gone on the hard tires, so he's trying to go to the end. I think he might try to do that and just stretch the tires extremely long.
What a hapless start to the race for JT, not just in the Grand Prix itself, but in qualifying as well. And Reese in the Williams, who also was unable to set it up in qualifying, has also gone onto the hard compound tyre. That's 2 drivers who Ben and have also suffered in the first lap of this Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, as we expected, there was going to be some drama in the first lap, and there was quite...
Sorry, Reese has just got himself a penalty for going over the line on the pit exit. It's probably one of the most infuriating ways to get a penalty, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. It's those annoying penalties that you just know you don't have to get. It's just so annoying because you definitely knew just like no way to get out of it, rather than just keep going and shake it off your head.
Buttons back is P5. He's sandwiched between Carwin Rob and Vapor Trench. Trench in P4, so holding that position off the start. For him, with what is a 19-point lead at the top, it's more about just making sure that he keeps his car in the right spots. But Carwin Rob here, all over the back of as they come to the tunnel. I'll tell you what here, Ben. Carwin Rob might be close enough for a move into the chicane, but no, it's going to happen. And as back cuts across the chicane and just about avoids a penalty.
It's Caxus who's standing still in sector 1. If seconds Ben.
Sector 1, I cannot see anything. But
well, he just took a spin and got some front wing damage, so he's definitely gonna have to box, because that's like the entire. No, there's only a right end plate, so he might try to keep going, but his teammate JT just passed him, so he's on the run for some points now. He's gonna try and bounce back from the hold and start away.
Yeah, there is Kasu. Oh no, he's gonna have to pit, isn't he? No way. Oh, and there goes the rest of it. There's the rest of his front wing gone. It's just flown off the car. So, well, if he didn't have to pit before, he certainly does now, because he has nothing left. He also has a penalty, so thanks to the nice new feature, actually, with the new update we've just had on the F1 game, we get to see which drivers have penalties, and back into the pits is JT, and out of the Grand Prix is JT.
It's JT.
So the driver who has had a podium in each of his first 2 races this season has already said enough is enough, and he's out of the Monaco Grand Prix, and Kasu's gone as well. What an awful day for Red Bull. Both drivers out of the race. And, well, I'm not sure. I was fairly critical of 1 or 2 drivers who retired early in the last couple of rounds that we've had. Do you think it's wise to retire this early in a league race? Because as we've seen so far this season, anything can happen with safety cars.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wonder if this race gets any crazier, if they might just regret that decision. Vapor Knut is really struggling here. TDB's all over him, and he's got understeer absolutely everywhere. Yeah, well, it's not long, surely. Vapor Knut is just not locked up as well into Mirabeau. That's just I can't wait to listen tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be alright, Matt. I think he's preferring to retiring from the race.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it'll be alright. But yeah, Division 2 tomorrow. Make sure you tune into the FPSL channel for that one, as we continue to follow this battle for the lead. If Knut manages to win this race, Ben, that is drive of the season, surely, if you can pull that off.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely going to be drive of the season, because if you can keep the lead, even with front wing damage, it doesn't really matter what track it is, it's still impressive if you can hold all the people behind you.
Certainly is. Meanwhile, behind them, Vapor Trench is just under a second behind Sam.
He's very close to him right now, TDB. He's going to go into... Oh, he went for it and he got left end plate damage.
Oh, he has, yeah, and that's more damage than Knut got. And here comes Sam. Yeah. How much damage is there on the road? That's a lot. That's a lot of damage, Ben, surely. He's going to have to... Oh, no, it's not as bad as I thought it was, actually, but still. He's losing a lot of time here, isn't he? So that's...
Sam is in a good position.
Oh, and Sam gets very close to the end of Portier. Oh, surely here. TDB is going to be so vulnerable, he couldn't go flat to the turn. On the inside goes Sam into the chicane. There's a little bit of contact. Still side by side. Oh, and into the wall.
He didn't leave him any space.
He's lost his front wing. TDB's making contact with Buttons back as well. Trenching up into P2. Virtual safety car deployed. Buttons back has a penalty for that as well, which is very unfair on him. He was an innocent bystander in all of that. But your prediction for the win, Ben, has just had his race go completely upside down, and Vapor Knut partly has taken this chance to come in pits and get a change of front wing.
Yeah, definitely. I really think he should have left him a bit more space there, because he knew he was on the inside of him, but he still decided to push him out a bit wide. But that's very unfortunate for both of these guys, or actually all 3 of them, because Button's back was just there, and he didn't really do anything, but he got the penalty either way. But a lot of the guys actually jumped into the pits.
Yeah, a lot of drivers taking the chance to pit. TDB, Vapor Shea, Fashion, Elian, Laura Lamb, Cobalt as well, I believe. No, he hasn't. No, Cobalt hasn't just pitted. Excuse me. He's on 5 laps old hard. Then he went on to going on to the second lap. Yeah, about that incident, at pretty much every track you can say that there's some corners, Ben, where you can't really go too wide. At this track, that's every corner. It's just so difficult to overtake.
It's really difficult to overtake, and that's why you have to go for the chances sometimes, but you still have to be cautious, around the other drivers, because you don't want to ruin your own or other drivers' races, but that's a risk you might have to take sometimes, and then you have to take a penalty if you get a penalty, because yeah, the track is very difficult to overtake on.
As a result of all that drama, Bazooka Joe has just gone into P3. He's got a penalty, and he's on slightly older compound tyres, and he's being chased down here by Knut, who is on a Ferrari. He's a Ferrari with a fresh front wing, fresh tyres. But if he has designs on winning this race, he has to clear the Alfa Romeo as soon as possible. Oh, they're very nearly side by side at the hill, but he thinks better of it, does the world champion, as into Massenet they go. And now through Casino Square, Bazooka Joe struggling to get the car turned in on increasingly old hard compound tyres.
Going for a move on Sam.
Oh, and those two side by side again. There'll be a few hard feelings there, I imagine, but TDB getting the job done, and this time, Ben, no contact between them.
Yeah, that was good, clean racing and a great overtake from TDB, and Sam respected the overtake and left him enough space for him to get by.
Next up for TDB is going to be Jack Prentice. One podium for him this season with 4 points finishes as well. So a consistent start for Jack in the World Championship. 4 points off the lead, so certainly you would see inward of the title, considering just how crazy it's been at the start of the season. Meanwhile, Carwin Robb is he's about half a second now behind Vapor Trench, so we had a battle for the lead between TDB and Knut. And
is he gonna go past him? He is gonna go past
meanwhile,
him.
Bazooka Joe and Knut side by side, and TDB gets past Jack Prentice as well. So two moves going on at once, with Vapor Knut getting past Bazooka Joe up the hill, and TDB doing the same to Jack Prentice. So, well, who says you can't overtake? Oh no, he's gone into the wall! Oh, I was gonna say, who says you can't overtake at Monaco, but TDB has just knocked off a bit of his front wing. And no sooner had he just got onto a new front wing, has he now broken this one. I think Renault might just be running out of front wings before too long, but he's now going to go for the move on Bazooka Joe. Minus an M plate. Does he go for it? Oh, yep. Yes, he does, down the inside. And a little bit of contact. Bazooka Joe cuts across the chicane. Yeah, he's got to give him that. Surely he can't stay ahead of him. Well, if I were Bazooka Joe now, I'd just pit. But he does. No, we'll try to let him go.
Some trouble. He's still gonna...
That's gonna be a bit of a concertina behind him. I think Bazooka Joe should just pit now, and he does indeed. So that means he doesn't have to give the place up, and we can avoid all the drama that was about to ensue behind him. Carwin Robin Haas as well has come into the pits. Onto the hard tyres he goes.
He's get out in front of
he's in front of TDB. So, well, of course, TDB had the front wing change, so that's helped Carwin Robb, but he's into P3 now in this Monaco Grand Prix, and Knut has a penalty as well, which makes life easier for Vapor Trench. 7 seconds is the gap out front. So he will lose the lead on track, Vapor Trench, when he comes into the pits, but crucially, of course, he doesn't have a penalty. So that's going to help him know, and of course, as the championship leader, a victory here would be so massive for Trench. But we'll see when he comes into the pit, still on the same softs on which he started this Grand Prix. Into Rascasse he goes, and into the pits he goes as well. So currently on the softs, I would imagine he'll go into the hard tyres as most of the others have done. TDB and Jack have gone into the medium compound of tyre. Can the mediums go that far, Ben, to the end of the Grand Prix? I'm not sure if they can.
Oh no, I don't think the mediums can go all the way to the end. You gotta have to be lucky with some. Oh wait, yeah, you're gonna have to be lucky with some safety cars and stuff if you want the mediums to last. But I definitely think you're gonna have to take one more stop. But I think you can stretch them along or whatever.
Very close between Carwin Robb and Vapor Trench. Robb just about gets in front of the McLaren. So P2 now, Carwin Robb in the Monaco Grand Prix. Both of those drivers going to the end. I would imagine Knut is doing the same on 4-lap old hards. But of course, as I say, he does have that penalty, and 2.5 seconds in front of the Haas of Carwin Robb as well. So Trench in P3, Jack Prentice in P4 in the AlphaTauri, but he's one of the drivers that went on to the medium tyres on his last pit stop. Behind him is Sam in the Alfa Romeo. Buttons back follows him in P6. Vapor Shades made his way up to 7th in the Racing Point. Cobalt in 8th. Williams Fashion 9th. Lord of Lamb has had a lot of drama somewhere because he is behind Zoka Joe, who is just the one position in front of him. Joe went to pits. He's also gone on to mediums, so interestingly pit that recently, but go on to the softer tire than the one that's going to get you to the end of the Grand Prix. A little bit strange, but at the same time might just be preying on another safety car between now and I say another one. The first safety car of the race. That's incredible, isn't it? We've not actually had a full safety car yet, Ben.
I think it's gotta come. It's gotta come at some point during this race, as we have a close fight between Fashion and Cobalt going into turn 1. Oh,
yeah, Fashion right behind the Williams of Cobalt. Fashion this season is well, his driving on track has been questioned by some of his peers, but he's got 1 points finished so far this season, and 2 DNF to his team. He's out-qualified his teammate once and out-raced him once as well, whilst he's been with TDB this season. And TDB is certainly not an easy driver to beat. He is actually just behind this battle. The lap is behind Fashion, and then TDB behind him. Right, here comes Fashion through the tunnel and down towards the cane. Is he close enough for the move on Cobalt? No, he is not. And has
TDB
to
is close enough for the move.
behind.
He's going to go down the inside. Oh, he's got wing damage
Oh,
once
that's
again.
very close, and he's made contact with Lord of Lamb, and he's got, oh, there we go, he's just discarded that bit of yellow front wing. Oh dear, this is like Valtteri Bottas on Sunday. He just cannot stop losing the car. TDB, that's more front wing damage. At this point of the Grand Prix, you're kind of thinking it's worth the risk, isn't it? But that's another mistake.
I don't think he's going to put on the hard tires now and make them go to the... No, he's going to put on a new set of mediums.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe he's assuming he's going to have to pit a new front wing. Hopefully not. Hopefully he can make it, but he's now P13. He will come out in front of Elian in the Ferrari, who has fallen even further back now. There he is. Down in P14, just the 14 runners with us, if you've only just joined us. We've had both the Red Bulls.
Oh, that's Buttons back, who's crashed in the chicane.
Buttons in the Mercedes, and
hasn't got any damage, but
no, it hasn't got damage. So
but he brought out the yellow flag, might have taken a spin or something.
I would think if he has crashed, it'll certainly be more luck than judgment that he's kept his front wing on the car. But 6th place for him from Sam, and yeah, it's currently Knut, Buttons back, Co, Lord Lab, Reese, and Bazooka Joe, who have penalties so far in this Grand Prix. Buttons back's penalty earlier on was extremely unfair. It was right after the TDB incident with Sam, and TDB made contact with the Mercedes, and Buttons back got a penalty as a result. So, well done, Code. Again, Elian actually has just been lapped by Canute. He's about to be lapped by Carwin Robb, who is in 2nd place. Vapor Trench is still just under a second, or now just over a second behind him in McLaren. So there's some impressive consistent pace here from the Haas driver, who is looking to get his first podium in just his 2nd race of the season with us here in Division 1 in season 6 of the Formula PlayStation League. After 5... Oh, go on, Ben.
I was just about to say, we had a yellow flag in Sector 2 again, and it was at the chicane, but it was just a late break from Shay. And he actually got a penalty for cutting the chicane.
I was about to say, Vapor Shade. So I imagine that would have been the cause of the yellow flag. 7th place, the Irish driver. And Bazooka Joe's just got a penalty as well in the Alfa Romeo. He already had one. He's E12 right now. And Fashion is still stalking Cobalt for P8 in Monaco, although he's a little bit further behind him now. Still within a second, but Cobalt has a slightly more comfortable gap back to the runner than he did a couple of laps ago. but still fairly close between those two. B with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Fastest lap, yeah.
On fresh tyres, and well, let's hope he can, for his sake, he can keep setting consistently quick lap times and get his points. It's one of those races though, but so few runs that in to go that we see the check flag might score points. We need 4 more retirements for that to happen, but that is not inconceivable in Monaco, of course.
Oh, Fashion has gone into the wall and lost a bit of his end plate. I think I just...
There he is.
No, wait, it doesn't look like it, but...
Yeah, I think he got away with it. Oh, and Cobalt and Fashion both clipping the wall on the inside. And
symmetrical.
Synchronised spinning. Oh, Bazooka Joe's out of the Grand Prix. So what's happened to the Alfa Romeo? We're watching TDB now. And where's Joe? There's Joe.
Sector 3.
He's got into the wall. So he's done a max wall on the exit of the swimming pool chicane. And a wreck of that Alfa Romeo. Ordinarily, that would be a cause of probably a red flag, not just a safety car. Virtual safety car here. We really wanted that safety car, Ben, but didn't happen.
Yeah. But luckily there's still time for it. We haven't even done half of the race yet. yeah, that's very true. Monaco is one of those races where you cross the line and you look up at the top of the screen and think, what? I've only done 16 laps. Crazy. Yep. Maybe Trench has just got really close to Carwin Robb, so I think Carwin Robb must have slightly misjudged the virtual safety car restart, because the McLaren is very close. Oh, and they both got penalties. Oh, they both got
them. They both cut across Sandoval and got a penalty, so eager to gain time on each other. Too eager, actually, because they've both picked up penalties, so that completely mitigates Knut's penalty out front, so he'll be breathing a sigh of relief, which puts him right back in the driver's seat, pardon the pun, to win this Grand Prix.
Yep, that was pretty good for Knut. Yeah, he's definitely not gonna feel the pressure as much as he did before, because now he doesn't have to create that 3-second gap that he had to before, and now he might be a little bit more comfortable and might get a bit of flow going around the track now that he knows he has to Oh, he's hit the wall. He went a little bit into... Yeah, he's lost his end plate.
Oh, Knut has lost his end plate, so just as we were saying, it was looking comfortable for the Ferrari driver. The commentator's curse has come out.
Yeah, we should just stop talking about how good it's going for the drivers today.
Yeah, we need to shut up, really. Well, he's been keeping the gap pretty consistently at 3 seconds for the last couple of laps, but of course, with that front wing damage, that gap is surely going to start to decrease. It already has done. It's just under 3 seconds now, back to the house of Carwin Robb. And I'd love to say for Knut that he just has to hold out for a few more laps, but it's more than that. It's more than a few. He's got to hold out for over 20 laps to get to the end of this Grand Prix as he locks up slightly into the Lowe's hairpin. And provided that Carwin Robb doesn't pick up any more damage, or any damage, between now and the end, then you would think that he's probably going to catch the Ferrari driver between now and the end, depending, of course, on how much time Knut's going to lose, because the gap hasn't actually gone down all that much, I have to say.
Yeah, he might be lucky that Trent and Carwin are going to have some battles with each other, and they are going to slow each other down, and maybe Knut can actually still keep his lead and in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, since that VSC, the gap's gone back up to a second again, so Carwin Robb's pace showing through. He's under a lot of pressure, actually, right after the restart from the Haas driver, but he's from the McLaren driver, I should say, but he's done very well to extend that gap. Just as I say that, though, Trench manages to just pull it down slightly to just over half a second. So we'll keep tabs on that one. Lord Alam, meanwhile, is just behind Fashion in the battle for 8th place and just in front of Reese. Yeah. Oh, Lord Alam goes quite wide. So does Reese. Picks up a penalty as over the swimming pool chicanes they go towards Raskas, which is also potentially another overtaking move, although Charles Leclerc can testify that it's very difficult from last year. At the head of this train is Cobalt, and he's 2.5 seconds behind Vapor Shea. So yeah, I think you could pretty safely say that Cobalt is the head of the train. Fashion just behind him. So the issue here, Ben, is that there's a bit of a DRS train, so that's quite costly at most circuits, but particularly here at Monaco.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a problem for the drivers in the back of this race, because they're not really going to have the chance to even go for overtake. The chance itself was pretty low, but now that the guys in front of them have DRS, it's going to be even more harder, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1.
Yeah, yellow flag somewhere. Who's in Sector 1 at the moment? Well, Canute's just gone through Sector 1. Oh, that's why. He was lapping his teammate Elian, so that's why the yellow flag was there, because his teammate was slowing down to let him go. So, thankfully, nothing too bad happening there. Go on.
Yeah, but the gap went down from 3 seconds to almost 2 seconds now, so
yeah,
something might have happened. He might have had to stop or brake a little bit for his teammate.
I just wonder if Elian hasn't really done his teammate many favours there in whilst letting him through. Lord Alam still just in front of Reese. Well, we've got a Ferrari out front, and it was a Ferrari that won the first ever championship race here in 1955 in Monaco. It was Maurice Trintignant. I've probably butchered that pronunciation, but French driver in 55 as Fashion gets very, very close indeed to Cobalt.
1.6 seconds now.
Yeah.
And we have another virtual safety car.
Yeah, Elliot.
When is the safety car deployed?
Can't we get a full safety car for once? I think Elian's just had quite enough of this Grand Prix. It would have, if he would have caused a safety car, because I think he would have been looking out for one. But just a VSC. I wonder if the new update has got rid of the safety car, Ben.
Yeah, it might have. I mean, it's the 4th virtual safety car we have this race, and at a track like Monaco, you would expect in real life at least a full course safety car.
Oh, a drive-through penalty for Buttons back for speeding on the virtual safety car. Jack Prentice just took that chance to come into the pits, so he's on another set of mediums, and he keeps P5 as well. So he's lost absolutely nothing through that, and he's got a decent set of tyres to try and take him to the end. And Buttons back's out. Buttons back's out of the Grand Prix in the Mercedes, so I think he's probably just come into the pits and retired the car with his drive-through. So yeah, just it is getting to that stage then where all you've got to do is finish the race, and you've got a point.
The points again.
Yeah,
he's done. And we've just done over half of the race, so there's still a lot of time to gain those positions, and those positions can actually get you from maybe 2 points to 4 points, or maybe higher. So it's definitely going to be interesting from now on.
Well, more or less anything that could have gone wrong for TDB has gone wrong so far in this race, but as you say, he's back up into the points now, and suddenly it doesn't look so bad for him. It's just over a second out front now between Canute and Carwin Robb, so that gap might just be about to diminish. It's now under a second, so Carwin Robb's going to have DRS up the home straight.
Ooh.
It's big lockup from Canute in front of him.
Knut might have made a mistake, because the gap is under a second now to Carwin.
Yeah. As I was just saying, it's a tiny gap now between them. Canute, I think, is just losing loads of time, Ben, through that damaged front wing. I think it's just costing him so much more now, particularly as well as the tyres get older. The tyres themselves get less grippier too. So, but I tell you what though, yeah, Canute is understeering like crazy. I wonder if he might have just made another mistake somewhere to chip off a bit more of that wing. But he's still just under a second in front of Carwin Robb. Another lockup going into Raskas. You just wonder at what point is that damage going to become unbearable for Canute. Will he give in and come into the pits with that damage? Well, Carwin Robb might just be about to take the lead off his hands. But then again, if you make your car as wide as possible, this is such a difficult track to get past the car in front. Oh, as he locks up going into Massenet as Canute, that's going to give Carwin Robb a bit of a sniff, but again manages to recover that car back to the middle of the track. He's locking up everywhere at the moment, Ben.
Yeah, it was the same we saw with Trench when he had the lead and he had some damage. He also locked up everywhere. They might feel the pressure from the guys behind, and maybe they put their foot on the brake pedal a bit too hard. But yeah, I definitely think it's the pressure from the guys behind that are causing these lug-ups.
Jack Prentice as well is just behind Sam in their battle for 4th. So those fresh tyres really paying dividends now for the AlphaTauri driver. And of course, because of the virtual safety car, he barely lost any time in pitting. So Sam in front is on 16-lap-old hard tyres. So this is going to be a struggle to keep the AlphaTauri behind him. And here comes Jack in towards the Nobel chicane. Oh, has a very late look, and there's a bit of contact between them. Oh, it was an extremely late decision from Jack to go for the move. Didn't give Sam any time to react to it. Thankfully, I think they both just about came away from that unscathed. But I think Jack needs to give him a bit more notice than that. Yep, into Raskas. I think he thought about it. But,
send it into Raskas,
yeah. Sam went defensive and made sure that didn't happen. But you certainly want to give the driver in front more notice than that before you send it down the inside. Canute actually is keeping that gap pretty steady. It's now a second between him and Carwin Robb out front. So he's managing it reasonably well, but he still has several laps left in which he has to manage it. So we'll see how he goes for the rest of the race. Meanwhile, Vapor in the Racing Point has come into the pits. Medium tyres on for him to probably take him to the end.
3 seconds.
Yeah, Trench has just got another 3-second time penalty, and he is 2 seconds now behind Carwin Robb. So, well, let us know in the comments your favourite to win this race from here. Is it going to be Canute? Is it going to be Carwin Robb? Might be somebody else. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Canute. I mean, he's looking pretty solid so far, and it's not because Carwin is putting him under that much. What happened?
Jackson's got ahead of Sam. He's gone for the move again and towards the Nova chicane, and this time he's got the move done. So P4 for the AlphaTauri driver, and Sam down to P5. Carry on, Ben.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it's... Oh, as I say this, Carwin is actually inside half a second to Knut. But I was about to say he's defending it really good, Knut, and he's still keeping a pretty large gap between him and Carwin. It's not like Carwin is right up his ass behind him.
Yeah, so he's apologies for that. He's getting closer, Carwin Robb, but Canute is doing well in the right areas to just extend the gap again. So he has damage, but he's clearly managing it well enough to keep the lead for the time being here in Monaco. Meanwhile, TDB is right behind Lorna Lamb as they exit Casino Square. It goes for the move into Mirabeau. Oh, that's a brilliant pass. That's a fantastic move from TDB. Clean as you like, no contact. I think he has actually lost a bit of front wing somewhere. I don't think it was due to that, though. Brilliant move from TDB. Back to 6th place here in Monaco.
Yep, getting up there. He's getting up there.
Super drive from TDB, having lost his front wing a couple of to catch up to Sam as Carwin Robb continues to try and catch up to Canute, but as of yet unable to really create that opportunity to go for the move. Canute is doing so well to fend him off. 14 laps to go, still no safety car in the Monaco Grand Prix.
It's gonna come.
I would hope so.
I have a feeling.
11 drivers left in the Grand Prix. Cobalt is the unfortunate 11th driver at the moment. And just behind his, well, I say just behind, he's 26 seconds behind his teammate Reese, who is just behind Fashion. And Cobalt has only outraced his teammate Reese once this season. And it'll take, I think, quite a big mistake from his teammate Reese to change that pattern. But Reese is right behind Fashion in the battle for 9th. So Cobalt's going to be looking at that one and hoping that these two come to blows somewhere. Which, you never know, might well happen as Reese just tries to pick up the back end on the exit of the Lowe's hairpin. So he's not going to be close enough for a move into the Nobel chicane just yet. Fashion himself is 2.5 seconds behind Vapor Shea, who is on fresh mediums as well, or fresher mediums than these two. so you should expect to see him not pull away drastically, but certainly pull away by a little from these two.
Sam is pitting.
Oh, Sam's into the pits. So the Alfa Romeo driver on a fresh set of mediums, and this will put him, I would think, just in front. No, just behind Shea. There is the racing point of Vapor Shea. So he goes into turn 1 in P7, and Sam now down to 8th. Well, if nothing else, I think Sam can probably go for fastest lap from here, but we'll see. The gap out front, just over a second now, so Canute has done so well. I keep saying it, but he is doing a brilliant job. I can't stress enough how difficult it will be with front wing damage to keep that car on the road and keep his pace competitive, but he's the world champion for a reason. He's got a lot of talent. And he's looking here to become the 5th different winner of Season 6 in Division 1. In fact, there's really only 3 drivers in the battle for the win, and any of these 3 will make it a 5th different winner. And it's quite crazy to think that our championship leader, Ben, hasn't won a race yet at Vapor Trench.
That just shows how consistent he has been so far this season, that he can still lead the championship without a win. He's just kept the results coming in. I don't know how many podiums he's got, but I would expect he's got a few podiums.
He's got 4 podiums out of the first 5 races, and he's scored points in each of the first 5 Grand Prix this season.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sam has just got past Vapor Shea into top 1, so the Alfa Romeo driver up into 7th place now. And Reese is right behind Fashion as well, but not able to get past him just yet. And the only reason that Trench didn't get a podium in Singapore was because he got a puncture on the very last lap of the Grand Prix, which meant that Vapor Canute got ahead of him to score a podium, but managed to just about hold on Trench to take a points finish there. But had it not been for that last lap puncture, he would have also got a 3rd place finish in Singapore. So you're right, he's been incredibly consistent in the first half of the season. He looks as though it's about to get him another podium finish, but the top 3,
no commentators curse.
Well, yeah, we've had that quite a few times actually. With the top 3 how it is though, it might be more than a podium for Vapor Trench. All 3 of these drivers in with a massive shout with 11 laps to go of winning the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, anything could happen, especially with penalties as well. If they don't keep themselves on the track, they might get some more penalties, and those penalties are going to be costly because they are inside a second of each other for the rest of the race, I could imagine.
Well, TDB finished Silverstone 3rd place on track, but he got the win because of penalties. So, absolutely, if it's as close as this, then penalties are what usually decide the outcome at the end of the Grand Prix when the drivers have crossed the line. But I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that these 3 all have the same amount of penalties as each other. So I would...
no, Trent has 6 seconds, and Carwin and Knuth have 3 seconds.
Well, there you go. There's me being wrong as always. Sam now has just caught up to Lorna Lamb, and side into the chicane. Oh, that's so tight. How have they not made contact? Sam gets in front. Unbelievable move on the McLaren. How has he done that? Up to 6th place for Sam. Wow. And Lorna Lamb, I think, has he does have damage. So I think he was going a bit slowly going into that chicane. But nonetheless, that's a terrific. And not to mention, very, very brave as well.
Yeah, that was definitely brave for him to go for the overtake there. I mean, really any place on this track is risky, and is impressive to go for an overtake. And yeah.
Oh, Shea looks for the move, not quite. Carwin Robb, oh, he's right behind Canute, and they're nearly side by side up the hill. He's looking for a way past Canute's Ferrari, as wide as the track almost, as they head up towards Massenet. And still, the Ferrari continues to frustrate the Haas. In towards Mirabeau they come, and once again, Carwin Robb's sniff at taking the lead of the Grand Prix is taken away from him. And Trench behind them is just hoping that they're going to come to blows, because he has 3 more seconds worth of penalties than the 2 drivers in front of him. But Trench here is very close to the Haas, and Is he close enough here for a move? No, he's not. He's too far back for a move into the Nobel chicane. Has to stay behind the Haas for the time being. Shea is still right behind Lord Alam, and there's a bit of a train now because we've got Fashion and Reese, and here comes Shea, and he's side by side with Lord Alam. He can't go around the outside of turn one, can he? No, he can't. Thinks better of it, but Lord Alam's got a slightly compromised exit. Fashion very nearly loses the back end on the exit. Reese is still right on his tail.
It's a great four-way battle.
Oh, and it's side by side, and Shea spins into the wall. Shea's made contact at Massenet. He tried to go side by side with Lord Alam. He tagged the rear, and that is him. Probably now add a contestable points finish as well. No safety car yet. Virtual safety car deployed. Another virtual. Unbelievable.
The fifth. Oh my god.
We just want one safety car, Go-Masters, please. We just want one.
It's not gonna happen.
So Lord Alam survives for now, but he's now got Fashion right behind him, and then Reese behind him. So, well, a four-car train was never going to end particularly well, Ben, has to be said.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially at this track where you're close to each other all the time and there's really nowhere to pass. And then if you're oh, Carwin just went into the back of Knut. I don't know if he got damaged, but
yeah, it got very close. Has he got down? No, I think he got away with it. I think he got away with it. Just.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, it was very close between them. I was just about to say as well, it's going to be an intriguing safety car restart because of how close they all are to each other. His lead. Carwin Robb still in second place, and Fashion's out. Fashion's out of the Grand Prix, and Lord Lam wins. Lord Lam has spun, and he's taken out Fashion in the process. Is this going to be a safety car? Is it going to be a safety car now?
It has to be.
Lord Lam's, yeah, there's Fashion. So those two have made contact up the hill. So, oh dear. So, Lord Lam's out now as well. So, yeah, we only now have the top 10. So, all of them will score points, and we have no safety car off the back of that. So, yeah, Fashion in the barrier. Lord Alam making contact with Shea last, making contact with Fashion on this lap. Fashion out of the Grand Prix, and Lord Alam has become a victim of that as well. So just the 9 runners, Ben, left in this Monaco Grand Prix. Drama everywhere you look.
Yep, I still want the safety car, but it's not gonna happen today.
I don't think it will.
It's still a really good race we're witnessing here. I mean, almost half of the grid are out. One more driver out, and it's half of the grid who's DNF.
Yeah, well, it's not short on drama, that's for sure. That is Fashion's 3rd DNF of the season in the Renault. And it is Lord Alam's first, actually. Lord Alam's finished every race.
Is he going to go for it?
Carwin Robb into turn 1. Oh, very close to the Ferrari. Still not close enough. But up the hill they go. He's got a good bit of momentum here. No, into Massenet. Knut has it covered for the time being, but that understeer's still there. Plain as day to see. As Carwin Robb thought about it into Mirabeau, but yeah, once again just not close enough. Another lockup though from Knut, and he's missing his apexes here. And into the wall I think has just gone Cobalt. Yeah, he has. So Cobalt's just chipped off a bit of his front wing whilst he was following this bunch. And, well, it doesn't really matter because he's still going to score points, even if he has to pit again, albeit it'll probably mean he ends up scoring a couple less points. So Knut through the swimming pool chicane. He's about to start lap 35 of 30 here in Monaco, in towards Raskas. A big lockup. And now through Anthony Nogue's corner.
TDB fastest lap.
Yeah, TDB will be taking the, as it stands, taking the point for fastest lap in this Grand Prix. There he is, all on his own. He's 18 seconds behind Sam and 11 seconds in front of Reese. So no one to play with for TDB. Carwin Robb once again so close to Knut as they come in towards Mirabeau. It's another little lock-up for Knut, who just wonder if, well, it probably won't get towards puncture territory because it's the hard compound tyre. They can generally last quite a long time and withstand quite a few lockups. But how many more of them he can get away with remains to be seen. Matt says Trench to dive bomb them both and take them out, and Jack's going to win. Crazier things have happened this year, so I'm not even going to disregard that. Yeah, could happen.
Yeah, it's not unlikely.
You just never know as well if Trench or Carwin Rob might just become a little frustrated. But, oh, big lockup for Knut. And has he just got into the wall again?
Oh,
he has! And Carwin Rob leads the Grand Prix! Into Anti-Noakes! Oh, he's got him! He has the lead, and now here comes Trench!
Oh my god.
Trench in a second, it could be 3 wide on the run towards Sandevart! Carwin Rob leads, and Trench is second, and Knut's lead, just like that, has slipped through his fingers! He's down to 3rd place! And now Trench, right behind Carwin Rob in the battle for the lead! But the Haas driver, in his 2nd race in the Formula PlayStation League, leads the Monaco Grand Prix!
That was amazing.
Incredible stuff. Well, Knut, that one mistake came out of him, and he, well, I think he might have just made contact with the barrier. Either way, Carwin Rob managed to send one back underneath him. And whilst all that was going on, Reese and Cobalt were both getting very close to each other through Anthony Noakes, and I think one of them actually ended up running very, very wide indeed. And that's now a battle for 7th place between those two. And is there damage to either the Williams drivers? I'm not too sure. Cobalt, I don't think has any. Reese does have damage by template, and Knut with a penalty. Yeah, so that completely puts paid to his chances of winning this group. He'll probably still, well, depending on how well he can keep the car on the track, he'll probably still get 2nd place, although he does need to stay within 3 seconds of Trench. In fact, no, he need,
yeah, they both have the same amount of penalties.
They both are the same, don't they? So yeah, no, he doesn't have a shout, because I completely forgot what happened 3 seconds ago, that he got another penalty. So yeah, both on him, or not in disguise. What is a real blessing for him is that he's nearly half a minute in front of Jack Prentice, so he can just hold on for that podium. But that race win just continues to evade him, and his championship hopes continue to dimmer as this championship goes on. Carwin Rob into the Nobel chicane. Just has to keep that car on the road for a couple more laps. Yeah, Matt was nearly right. I mean, Trench nearly went for the dive bomb on both the leaders, but didn't quite happen. In towards Raskas comes Trench, who is, well, he's hoping now that Carwin Rob picks up another penalty, and then of course he can then go for the move and go for the win. However, if you're as Cobalt gets ahead of Reese, so into turn 1, Cobalt into P7, Reese down to P8. Cobalt looking to outrace his teammate Reese for the 2nd time this season. If you're Trench, he's the championship leader by 19 points, so you'd probably just play the long game from here, wouldn't you, and just hold on for 2nd place.
Definitely gonna hold on for 2nd place, but I just took a look at the warning situation, and Carwin actually only need 1 more warning to get his next penalty.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
he might feel the pressure a bit, so he might make a mistake and get a penalty.
Yeah,
so
but I think he knows though that Trench, well, he might know, he might not actually, that Trench has 3 seconds worth more penalties than he does. So just take it easy. Even if Trench gets past him, he just needs to finish within 3 seconds of him. But he might not know that, so you're right, he might just start to feel that pressure. But anyway, as we come towards the final lap of this Monaco Grand Prix, what a spectacular end to the race we've had here. Carwin Rob has taken the lead on the in the dying laps from Vapor Knut, who, oh, they're both wide at Sandevart, and no, they got away with it. So I think it was lag. Yeah, it was lag. So goodness, my screen showed them both going wide. Yeah, it's just showed it again.
On my screen.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag happening. They're still going. I can tell you that. Sorry if I gave anybody a scare. So Carwin Rob still leading this Grand Prix from Trench on the last lap. Yeah, I thought. Well, they both. I was wondering what was happening, but yeah, they both carried on, and Still P1 and P2 for those two. Although it is now just lagging all over the place. But Trench has... Oh, he's got very close to Carwin Robb. Into the Noble chicane. And in towards the final sector in Monaco. Well, Carwin Robb, after just missing out on a podium finish in China last time out, he's come through here. And after taking the lead from Knut in the last few laps, it's been a fantastic drive. Carwin Robb wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Vapor Trench finishes P2. And Vapor Knut, oh, what heartbreak for him, finishes third. He was on to win just a few laps ago. But he has to settle for just a third place finish here in Monaco. Loses more ground in the championship to Vapor Trench in the McLaren. Here comes Jack Prentice. Another quietly brilliant drive from him as he rounds Anthony Nogue's corner. And he will take fourth place here in Monaco. Sam will be fifth for Alfa Romeo, although he gets P4 because Jack had penalties. So up to fourth for Sam.
Ooh,
and
3:10.
Yeah, that was close. TDB round the final corner for him, and he will just coast up to the line in the Renault to take sixth place. He's the last one to cross the line. But it's that man, Carwin Robb. What a drive. And right at the end, steals the win from right underneath Knut's nose, with Vapor Trench, the championship leader, extending his lead at the top with that second place finish. And McLaren very close to the win. Amazing. They have won 15 wins here at Monaco, not to be today, because it's the Haas of Carwin Robb that takes out the win. Ben, what a race.
Yeah, that was an amazing race with all the drama that we expected from Monaco. And once again, it didn't disappoint in a league race. It's just amazing to do league races around. It might be frustrating for the driver, but it's definitely not boring for the viewer to watch.
Certainly isn't. Well, Haas would become the 16th constructor as well here at Monaco if they were to pull off the win in real life, but they have done in the Formula PlayStation League. Carwin Robb wins the Grand Prix. Trench in second. Vapor Knut in P3 takes out the last podium spot, but what heartbreak for him at the end. Sam P4, Jack in fifth. TDB takes sixth after what was a horrible race for him, but still manages to get some points here in Monaco. Reese in seventh place for Williams. Vapor Shea in P8. Cobalt in the end got ninth because of penalties. And a long list of DNFs. Lorna Lamb, Fashion, Buttons Back, Elian, Bazooka Joe, JT and Kasu all out of the Monaco Grand Prix. And I imagine that not just in the race, but probably through qualifying as well, there'll be some words had between the drivers in the Discord chat. Ben, just before we go, driver of the day?
Let me take a look. Oh, definitely Carwin. I mean, starting from P5 and then getting the dub is amazing. I would say definitely.
Yeah, huge result for Carwin Robb. A fantastic drive from him. Ben, good luck tomorrow in Division 2. Make sure everyone to tune in to the Formula PlayStation League channel to catch the Monaco Grand Prix in Division 2. But from Ben and myself this evening, it's good night.